Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Royalty USA. I am James Carter, and before we get into today's story, and I promise you it is a good one, I want to say something to you directly, something personal, because you deserve to hear it. When I started this channel, I had a simple dream, to tell real royal stories with genuine heart to people who love this family the way I love this family. And you showed up. You watched. You commented. You subscribed. You shared. And because of you, because of every single one of you watching this right now, Royalty USA is on the verge of something I honestly did not know if we would reach this quickly. Our channel monetization is under review. We are this close. And I want you to know, whatever happens, this community is the reason. You built this with me, and I will never forget that. Now stay with me until the end of today's video, because I have a very special message for every one of you, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. But first, let us get into it, because this past week in the royal world gave us not one story that stopped me completely in my tracks, but two, and I have been sitting here thinking about both of them, turning them over in my mind, because together they tell us something so important about where this family is headed and who these two people truly are at their deepest level. So get comfortable, grab your coffee, because today we are talking about Prince William and Princess Catherine, and the two moments that have absolutely everyone talking. Let us start with William, because there is a story about him that came out this week that I think reveals more about his true character than almost anything else I have seen from him in years. We spend so much time watching the royals at their big public moments, the ceremonies, the galas, the state visits, and we think we know them from those moments. But every now and then, something happens behind the scenes that slips into the public eye, and suddenly you see the real person underneath all the protocol and the pageantry. That is exactly what happened here. Prince William awarded the Royal Victorian Medal to his personal driver, Lance Sergeant Scott Robin Bishop. Now, if you are not familiar with what that medal means, let me explain, because the significance of this goes so much deeper than just a shiny piece of metal. The Royal Victorian Medal is not handed out by a committee. It is not decided by government ministers or some bureaucratic process. It is a deeply personal honor, awarded entirely at the discretion of the monarch or senior members of the royal family themselves, as a direct expression of personal gratitude. Queen Victoria established it back in 1896, and when you receive this medal, you are not being recognized by an institution. You are being recognized by a person who looked at you and said, "You matter to me." And William looked at his driver, this man who has quietly, faithfully, loyally served the Wales family for years, and said exactly that. Lance Sergeant Bishop has been ferrying William and Catherine to official engagements, to private family duties, to all the places in between, for a very long time. He operates completely out of the public eye. Most people watching the royals on television have never heard his name, never seen his face. He is one of those people who makes everything run smoothly from the shadows, who shows up every single day and does his job with discretion and dedication, never asking for recognition. And William saw him at a formal investiture ceremony at Windsor Castle, alongside recipients like actress Cynthia Erivo and comedian Matt Lucas. There was Lance Sergeant Scott Robin Bishop, the driver, receiving a royal honor that came directly from the heart of the family he serves. I have to tell you, when I read this story, something in me just softened. Because this is the kind of thing that cannot be faked. You cannot perform this kind of gratitude for a camera. There was no press release hyping this moment, no strategic communications team spinning it into a headline. It was just William, doing something quietly generous for a man who deserved to be seen. And I think about Princess Diana and how she had this extraordinary instinct for making ordinary people feel extraordinary, for looking past the titles and the status and seeing the human being in front of her, for stopping in a corridor and asking the cleaner how their day was going, for remembering the names of the nurses who cared for her, for treating every single person she met as though they were the most important person in the room. And I see that same instinct alive in her son. that same warmth, that same deep and unshakable understanding that the people who hold your life together deserve your deepest and most genuine appreciation. This is also not the first time William and Catherine have done something like this. Earlier this year, they also honored their longtime nanny, Maria Teresa Turion Barallo, with the Royal Victorian Medal in silver. Maria has been with the Wales family for over a decade, caring for Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis through every milestone, every move, every overseas tour. She has been there for the school runs, and the bedtime stories, and the moments of childhood joy, and the moments of childhood difficulty. She has held this family together in the private hours that the cameras never see, and William and Catherine chose to say, "We see you. We value you. You are not invisible to us." That tells you everything about the kind of leaders they are, about the kind of king and queen they are already becoming. Because here is what I want you to think about. Leadership is not just about the big decisions. It is not just about the speeches and the summits and the moments that make the front page. Leadership is about how you treat the people around you when nobody is watching. It is about whether you notice the person who has been quietly loyal to you for 10 years and whether you find a way, a real, meaningful, personal way, to tell them that their loyalty has not gone unseen. William noticed, William acted, and in a world that so often forgets to look at the ones doing the quiet, unglamorous, essential work, that is not just admirable, that is extraordinary. I also want to say something here that I think is important. The Royal Victorian Medal that William gave to Lance Sergeant Bishop, that is the same honor that Catherine received from King Charles when she returned from Italy. The king looked at his daughter-in-law, this woman who had fought through cancer and come back stronger and more purposeful than ever, and gave her the same personal, heartfelt recognition. The same medal that says, "I see you, I value you, you matter to me." There is something deeply moving about that symmetry, about a family that expresses its deepest gratitude with the same gesture, whether the recipient is a future princess or a loyal driver. That tells you something about the values at the heart of this family. Something real, something that no PR team invented and no communications strategy created. Now let us talk about the other half of this partnership, because Princess Catherine has been making headlines of her own this week, and I have to say, watching her these past few days has genuinely moved me in a way I did not fully expect. Princess Catherine traveled to Italy, and not just any trip. This was her first official solo overseas visit since completing her cancer treatment. Let that sink in for a moment. After everything she has been through, the diagnosis, the surgery, the chemotherapy, the long quiet recovery, the careful and gradual return to public life, she got on a plane, flew to Italy, and stepped out onto that stage alone, and she was magnificent. The destination was Reggio, Emilia, a small and beautiful northern Italian city that is famous around the world for its pioneering approach to early childhood education. The Reggio Emilia approach views children as active participants in their own learning, as capable, curious, creative human beings from the very first days of their lives, and educators from Japan and America and Australia and Canada travel to this city every single year just to observe and to learn. Catherine went there in her role with the Royal Foundation Centre for Early Childhood, which she launched in 2021 to raise awareness of how those earliest years of life shape everything that comes after. This is work that Catherine genuinely cares about, deeply, passionately, personally, and being there in the city where this philosophy was born 70 years ago was clearly meaningful to her in ways that went far beyond the official itinerary. And the Italians welcomed her like a queen. Crowds gathered outside to cheer her name. Chants of Kate rang through the medieval streets. Children came forward with flowers and gifts. She bent down to their level. She looked them in the eyes. She spoke with them. And this is the part that I love most. She spoke to them in Italian. She actually tried out her Italian, and her pronunciation was so good that it genuinely surprised the people around her. One aide said she had been remembering happy memories of Florence, where she spent time after school before university. There was something so human and warm about that detail. This woman who has been through so much, arriving in a country she has a deep and personal connection to, making the effort to meet people in their own language, to step toward them rather than waiting for them to come to her. The city of Reggio Emilia awarded her the Primo Tricolore, the city's highest honor, and an aide to Catherine described the visit as an important step in her recovery journey, adding that she takes great joy from this work. That phrase, "she takes great joy from this work," stayed with me, because we have watched Catherine navigate something that would have broken most of us: the uncertainty of a cancer diagnosis, the physical toll of chemotherapy and surgery, the loss of privacy at the very moment you most desperately need it, the pressure of the public eye, even while you are trying simply to survive and to heal. And through all of it, every single day of it, she carried herself with a grace and a dignity and a quiet courage that has genuinely humbled people around the world. And now, here she is in Italy, glowing, radiant, engaging with children, speaking Italian, accepting flowers, lighting up every room she walked into. Her fashion that day, an all-blue suit that had people absolutely transfixed, elegant, confident, perfectly chosen. She carried herself with that particular way she has of walking into a room that manages to feel both completely regal and completely approachable at the same time. She is one of those rare people who can be simultaneously iconic and warm. And in Italy, a country with one of the most sophisticated relationships with beauty and style in the entire world, she held her own completely. More than held her own. She was radiant. That word kept coming up in every single piece of coverage. Radiant. And it was true. There is something about returning to the work you love, about stepping back into purpose, that heals in a way that medicine alone simply cannot. Catherine looked like a woman who had found her footing again, like a woman who remembered exactly who she is and exactly why she is here. Now I want to bring these two stories together, because when you look at them side by side, they are telling us something much bigger than either story tells on its own. William honoring his driver, Catherine conquering Italy. These are not random events. These are not coincidences. These are two people who are consciously, deliberately, and wholeheartedly stepping into the roles that history has prepared them for, and doing it in a way that is entirely and completely their own. Royal experts have been saying for some time that as King Charles navigates his own health challenges, and as the makeup of the working royal family continues to shift, more and more of the weight of representing the monarchy falls on William and Catherine. They are the future. They are the ones who will carry this institution forward into the next chapter of its extraordinary history. And the question that so many people, myself included, have asked over the years is whether they are ready, whether they have what it truly takes, whether the next generation of this family understands what the crown demands of them. This week answered that question for me, completely and definitively. William understands that a great leader sees the people around him, all of them, every one of them, and expresses real and genuine and personal gratitude. Catherine understands that the work she does matters, that it connects to something larger than herself, and that showing up fully, even after everything, even after the hardest years of her life, is both her gift and her purpose. Together they are building something that is rooted in real values and real warmth and real humanity. And I genuinely believe, that it is going to be something truly and lastingly extraordinary. And now, I promised you a special message, and here it is. Every single person watching this video right now is part of something. You are part of Royalty USA. You are part of a community that was built on one simple promise: real stories, told with genuine heart, for people who care. You watched when we were small. You commented when nobody else was paying attention. You subscribed and you shared and you came back, video after video, because something in these stories resonated with you. And because of you, because of your loyalty and your kindness and your genuine love for this community, Royalty USA is now under review for monetization. We are this close to something that I genuinely did not know if we would reach. And if it happens, when it happens, it will be because of you, not me, you. So from the bottom of my heart, Thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for every comment. Thank you for every thumbs up and every subscription, and every time you told a friend to come and watch. You are not just viewers. You are the reason this exists. I am James Carter. This has been Royal T USA. Tell me in the comments, which moment moved you more this week? Was it William and his driver? Or was it Catherine arriving in Italy? I read every single comment. Every one. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not already, and ring that bell. Take care of yourselves, everyone, and I will see you in the next one.